Proteon Therapeutics is developing Vonapanitase, an investigational drug intended to be a first-in-class therapeutic to help address the medical needs of patients undergoing surgical creation of a vascular access for hemodialysis. For patients suffering from kidney failure, hemodialysis is a life-saving procedure typically performed 3 times a week, in which a patient's blood is passed through a hemodialysis machine to remove excess fluid and waste products, normally excreted by the kidneys. More than 400,000 patients in the United States have kidney failure and undergo hemodialysis. A high-flow vascular access is a hemodialysis patient's lifeline, enabling blood to be repeatedly pumped through a hemodialysis machine. The preferred form of vascular access is an arteriovenous fistula, or AVF, near the wrist, which is typically created in an outpatient surgical procedure. An AVF is created by surgically attaching a vein to an artery, which should result in increased blood flow and dilation of the artery and vein. However, AVFs are prone to failure. Injuries to the blood vessels during surgical creation of an AVF may trigger a natural injury response, in which cells in the vessel wall proliferate and migrate to the inner surface of the vessel, potentially creating a narrowing or blockage. This blockage, known as patency loss, can obstruct blood flow and, if not corrected, can prevent hemodialysis through the AVF. Patency loss affects approximately half of AVFs within 1 year of surgical creation. There are no therapies currently approved in the United States to reduce AVF patency loss. Patency loss must be addressed urgently to restore blood flow for hemodialysis. To restore patency, a patient is typically subjected to a series of medical events, including cancellation of the hemodialysis session, transportation to a hospital, an invasive corrective procedure such as an angioplasty or surgical revision, which requires anesthesia, may be painful and can lead to complications, recovery from the procedure, transportation to the dialysis clinic or admission to a hospital to undergo hemodialysis. Patency loss may also recur, resulting in repeated invasive corrective procedures. In some cases, patency cannot be restored, and the AVF must be abandoned, requiring surgery to create an entirely new vascular access. These events also have a serious financial impact. Recently published data indicate that management of AVFs at the wrist can cost approximately $17,000 in the first year after surgical creation. Vonapanitase is an investigational drug intended to improve AVF patency and is currently in Phase 3 clinical trials. Vonapanitase is administered in a single 10-minute application to the surface of the artery and vein when the AVF is surgically created. Research suggests that Vonapanitase is locally absorbed into the outer layer of the blood vessel wall, where it fragments elastin fibers without affecting vessel wall strength. The elastin fragments are thought to attract proliferating cells, inhibiting the cells from migrating to the inner surface of the blood vessel and impeding formation of a blockage. In a Phase 2 clinical trial, Vonapanitase showed a trend toward improvement in AVF function. In the subset of patients receiving a radiocephalic AVF at the wrist, a 30 microgram dose of Vonapanitase resulted in an increase in the percentage of AVFs that developed adequate blood flow and diameter for hemodialysis within 12 weeks of creation, as well as an increase in the percentage of AVFs that maintained patency without the occurrence of access thrombosis or the need for invasive corrective procedures over 1 year. A similar AVF population is being studied in Proteon's 2 Phase 3 studies. Patients who received Vonapanitase had a similar incidence of adverse events related to study drug compared to patients who received placebo. Vonapanitase has received FDA Fast Track and Orphan Drug designations for hemodialysis vascular access indications and may be investigated in additional surgical and endovascular indications.